Hello friends, it's Carla back today with the 13 days of Halloween. Today is day 8 and we're making a card featuring the cute Gerda Steiner Designs digital stamps. This little scene here is from the Halloween Kids digital stamp bundle. You can also pick up the cute little kitty as a mummy kitten digital stamp by itself. If you don't want the whole set. But the set is great for scene building, and I actually layered these in my Paint 3D program on my PC. Just layered them together and saved them as this image before printing them out. And I'm just going ahead and coloring with some Copic markers that I have, and doing a little bit of blending, keeping it pretty simple. For the pumpkin, I'm using 2 different shades of orange, and you'll see when we move on to the other pumpkins, which were actually from an older set from Gerda Steiner Designs. It was a Berry Grateful pumpkin bear set, and I don't believe it's in the store any longer, but just any little pumpkins that you have, any digital images are great for layering on top of a scene. And you'll see at the end how I just layer them to add a little bit of dimension. So I'm coloring in the pumpkin and then going to the 3 smaller pumpkins, and just by adding in, this is a darker orange on the center pumpkin, I'm able to create a little bit of a darker pumpkin. So I'm still keeping it pretty simple. I have the original orange color on all 3, and then the lighter orange I'm using on all 3 as well. But so the one on the right, I'm coloring pretty much the same as the jack-o'-lantern. Then the one in the center has that little bit of darker orange as well, and I'm just pulling that all in and blending those together. And then you'll see the one on the left, I'm going to leave a little bit open in the middle and add a yellow-orange color just to lighten that one up. I think it's great to do lots of different colors when you're doing pumpkins, and you can do different shades of oranges and yellows and even greens in there. And so you've got lots of opportunity to bring in some fun fall colors. And here's that yellowish color, and it's still in that same YR family, and it blends well. So usually for blending, I just color my darkest color around the edge, then I blend it with the second darkest color, and then I take my lighter color for the center and go over all of the other colors just to blend it out and soften those edges. I wanted to bring in some greens for the little pumpkin stem here. I think you could do them brown or green, but I knew I had some green paper that I wanted to use in the background. So I decided to do the stems green to just keep that green throughout the project. And now we have some these are Recollections markers. They're alcohol based as well, just like the Copics. And I had picked them up just because I'm slowly changing my marker collection over. I had some Hobby Color and Prismacolors, and as those kind of run out, I'm moving towards Copics, but I happened to pick up these Recollections markers at, or I believe maybe they're Artist Loft rather, at Michael's, and they actually blend really well, and they were a great price point. So that's another option. There's different alcohol-based markers out there, so don't be afraid to try different ones. I do like coloring with the Copics, and I feel like they blend the best of the markers that I've tried, but I think using what you have is a great idea. For the little gauze around the cat, I'm using BG 10. Just it's a very light greenish color, again keeping with the greens, and I just put some color on the folds of that gauze and traced a little bit of the line. And you could see when I colored in the cat with the gray, I just kind of guessed at where I thought the cat fur was showing through and where the gauze was. And then I'm just taking some gray markers. Some of them are hobby color markers, and I'm adding some shading in around the bottom edges just to give the little cat and the jack-o'-lantern and the fence a place to rest rather than kind of floating in air. And even though it's just adding a little bit of that shading, I find that it really just lets your eye feel like it's a scene. And then I got some colorless blender just to add along the edge of that gray just to soften it. Now I'm taking some scissors and fussy cutting out around the small pumpkins just by moving the paper more so than the scissors. And I have the Happy Halloween that comes with the Halloween Kids set. And I'm gluing down some Lawn Fawn green paper as the background, and I cut this little stitched frame from a Hello Bluebird stitched frame die cut that has other elements within the frame, but I just wanted the outside frame, and I'm layering that, and it's cut out of some Simple Stories vintage Halloween paper. And then we've got that sentiment, gluing that inside and one of the little pumpkins. And then on the outside, we're going to take our little die cut that we cut out with a Sizzix die. It just has dots around the edge, and sometimes I just use the dots, but this time I thought I would actually use those holes for stitching. So I just place a piece of Scotch tape to hold the thread in place, and then I start stitching up and down and just kind of going in a back stitch so that I have a stitch through every hole and it looks like it's completely stitched around the edge. So there you can see what it looks like. That didn't take long at all. I did both of the dies. They were a stacked die set, and I'm gluing the colored focal image right on top of that black paper that's cut from Simple Stories. And then I'm gluing down the pumpkins. I'm putting the little pumpkin on the back in front of the fence, and then popping up the little bit larger one with some foam tape. And then I'm adding some foam tape on the back of this oval and simply placing it on to the back of the card. So it's a pretty simple card design. I go ahead and add some white gel pen just to add some little highlights throughout the stamped image, and if there was any places where I colored out the lines. And then I have a few other gel pens, gold, and we've got a couple other ones that I just add on there, adding some little pink cheeks with a colored pencil and the black nose, and it just adds a little bit more fun to the photo, and some highlights and some shadows. And then I decided I would like a few sequins on there. So I've got some sequins from Spiggle Mom Scraps, and I'm using some Ranger matte medium to apply them on just by putting little dots of the matte medium and placing the sequins on in a triangular shape. So here's a close-up look at how the card turned out and the little sentiment inside, and it's all ready to send out for Halloween to wish someone a happy Halloween. I love this little pumpkin. He looks so cute, and really happy with how the cat turned out as well. So thanks so much for stopping by. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. Bye-bye.